Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome, all you theme park nuts out there, all you Creepy Old Crypt fans. We're doing something brand new today. It's a brand new episode of Creepy Old Crypt where we are actually going to do it remotely and virtually. That's right. We've trademarked a brand new groundbreaking technology. I'm going to blow your mind in about 30 seconds with what it is. But we've created a brand new tech to discuss. First of all, Creepy Old Crypt is a show where we talk about old theme park stuff.
Yeah.
We pull it out of the crypt, we dust it off, and we talk about maybe it's something that's not around anymore. Maybe it's, whatever. Maybe it's something that is around, but it's got an interesting history. Whatever it may be, we discuss it. And this week, our topic is old dead attractions that we can't go to anymore, which works out because we can't go anywhere anyway. So it was the perfect subject.
They're all closed right now, so
what
can we do?
Exactly. But here's the thing that you may not know. Kevin is not even on the set with me right now.
Your mind's probably blown right about now.
We are using all new virtual technology that makes it seem like we're all in the same room.
I know. We can even like high five. We're not even like...
Yeah, dude, good to see you.
Yeah.
But no, he's actually not even in the room right now. So we're beyond, a lot of these shows are doing Zoom calls or Skype. Ooh, who's using Skype? Yeah. We have evolved beyond that. We are using fully virtual set. This is kind of what they use on Avatar.
Kinda.
Yeah, it's very similar to Avatar where you, through the virtual screen, you see what the set should be. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Here we are. And if shit hits the fan or something, I'm just going to go fucking hide right behind Rocco.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Here, get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh. Wait, yeah, I gotta keep my distance. Sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, all right. So, so Kevin, we're going to put him right there. Oh, shit. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. All right. We're going to... Fuck. Sorry, everybody. We're all going to talk about our favorite theme parks that... Shit. We're going to talk about our favorite... No. Scoot back, please. We're going to talk about our favorite theme park attractions that are no longer around.
Yes.
And get a little discussion about that. Now, when somebody brings up the concept of like, what's a ride that you miss or what's an attraction that you missed, two of them pop into my head. My first ones out the gate are when I think, is one of the first one is Horizons, the Epcot ride.
Classic.
And that's kind of a messed up situation because I never even went on that. I never went.
Me neither. It was demolished in like what, 2000?
Yeah, I think so. It was like closed officially in 94 or 95, but then they like kept occasionally opening it back up until 99 and then it was done.
And that was it.
But so that that's just me looking at a bunch of pictures, watching a bunch of videos. But I wish I could have gone on that. That's my number one. Like, I wish I could have gone on it. But the other one that pops into my head is a ride that was in Disneyland way back in the day called Adventures Through Inner Space. That was, to me, the quintessential, like, goofy-ass 60s ride.
Yeah. And you've been on that one.
Well, that's what I was going to say is I am actually barely old enough that I did go on Inner Space before it was gone. I know everyone probably thought I was like a cool young teen, but I am just old enough where that was still around. And I remember going on the People Mover through Tomorrowland in Disneyland, and there were, because you would go on this People Mover vehicle that would take you through all these Tomorrowland rides, and you'd go through Inner Space, and you'd go through some of the stores, things like that.
Yeah.
I remember being on that People Mover, and there was they put a stormtrooper up in the hallway.
Yeah, there's video of that on YouTube. I've seen that.
Yeah, you would ride, and that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid because I didn't know if they were going to shoot or something. I don't know. I was scared.
Yeah.
But they put a stormtrooper in the hallway, and there was a little voice thing, I think from C-3PO or something. My memory is very blurry, where they would say like, hey, Star Tours is coming soon. Like, I remember the influence of Star Tours was already there. And I was very, very little. I mean, I'm talking like this is one of my earliest memories.
Yeah.
But I don't remember tons of the ride. I remember sitting in black in just darkness for a long. So in case people don't know what this ride is, it was a dark ride where it was like an omnimover, like the same kind of vehicle for Haunted Mansion.
Like a Doom buggy. It's just like, it's got a covered vehicle that you go through.
Yeah. You would sit in one of those and it would take you through, it was like 90% darkness where a narrator was just going, oh, you're getting smaller.
Ooh. Oh, it was going through a microscope. Basically you were getting shrunk to microscopic level throughout this.
Yeah. Ride. And, but it was like mostly the narrator telling you you were. It was like, oh no, I can't believe I'm getting smaller. And then they would show you'd go past the thing that looked like a molecule, like, oh, you're down at a molecular level.
Yeah.
I'm getting smaller, you know. And, oh, there's a snowflake. Well, you're smaller than a snowflake.
Look at this snowflake.
Yeah. But it said, they actually said in the ride, nice job, snowflake. I think it ended with someone saying, suck it, snowflake. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
Walt Disney, I don't know. No, but anyway, but it you'd go through all these little details like that, but one of the big props in it was that towards the end there was a giant eye looking at you through a
like the other end of a microscope. You were like looking up from the tray or whatever.
Yeah.
Up through the microscope, and you could see the eye looking down at you.
Yeah, there was a big eye looking at you, and that's what I remember. I remember sitting in darkness for a lot of it, and then seeing that big eye. I remember that big eye, and I always associated that when I was a kid, and my family would say, oh, we're going to go to Disneyland. I would always think like, oh, I'm going to see that big eye, but I never did again. It was only that once. So that made me think that I had imagined it as I was a kid, but no, then I got older. I was like 20 something, and I looked in a book, and I'm like, oh, there's that giant eye. We must have already talked about inner space more extensively, maybe on our Tomorrowland episode.
I think we did, yeah.
Because I remember people, because it was so dark, teens would like get freaky on that ride, and we called it Adventures Through Intercourse. I think that was on another episode, so we don't need to go into it. But that is something that was so authentically like old, kind of like charming, cute, weird Disneyland. So that always pops into my head as an attraction that I miss that I actually did go on. But what about you? When somebody says old attraction, dead attraction, what pops into your mind?
What pops instantly in my mind is the People Mover. The track is still there, and I always look at it, and I want to go on that so bad.
Yeah, like, I guess you have a good point there, because it is one of few old attractions. Like Inner Space is gone, and they turned it into
it's become another thing.
Yeah, it's Star Tours now, and so now you just think about Star Tours. Most of it's gone, but the People Mover track is like dangling in front of you.
They used it for like a couple of years for some fast ride that I didn't care about. I didn't go to Disneyland during that time anyway. I didn't
really either, honestly.
And yeah, that failed, and they never did anything with it. It's almost like this failed project completely ended People Mover forever.
Yeah.
And it was like, then why did you get rid of it to build this thing that failed after a year or two? Like,
yeah.
That bums me out so bad that the People Mover is gone, because the People Mover is great. It's just this slow, like 60 style vehicle that just goes through all of Tomorrowland. And
yeah, that to me is something that it is missing in Disney now. Is you need that kind of like just a cute thing to take you around and show you everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's such a bummer because they almost had it with Galaxy's Edge. I mean, I love Galaxy's Edge. Don't get me wrong, but they almost had a ride where you'd ride on top of a bantha and it would take you around and show you around Galaxy's Edge. Okay, well over there that's where Doc Ondar lives, and over there that's where the Millennium Falcon calls its home, and that, over here, you know it.
Yeah,
I think you kind of need that kinetic thing that takes you around and shows you kind of just the lay of the land, and it adds a little. It's like it kind of adds a little bit of the lore to it, a little bit. You know what I mean? Where it's more interest. It gives you like, here's the reason this is here. Here's the
And it seemed like in the late 90s, they kind of lost touch with that and got rid of like the Skyway and the People Mover and all these things that were just basically a ride that took you around. Now all that's left is the monorail and train. And the monorail doesn't really, it just kind of takes you around the park. Train actually stops around the park, but both of those are the only ones left. They're great, but I miss Skyway and
I think it's something to be said that people love going on the train at Disneyland because you just want something that takes you through and shows you a different side to all the stuff. It's easy to jump on a ride and go fast through stuff, but sometimes you just want to chill and look at all that stuff from a different side. And I don't know. I agree with you completely. The People Mover is a very a missing component of Disneyland for sure. It is still running in Florida in the Magic Kingdom, and
it's an updated version of it. It is different, looks different, and stuff like that. But it is still running, and it's cool.
It really is cool. That's one of like my favorite things. That's one of my favorite things in the park, honestly. I really like going on it, and they even bring it up in the narration. They're like, hey, this is a great place for people watching. You never know who you might see. And it takes you through, there's little tunnels with things to see in it, and there's all kinds of stuff like that. And I think that's really neat. I don't know. It goes beyond just, let me go on a fast ride and be thrilled. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I kind of feel like, that's something that made Disney different than any other theme park where you just go on a roller coaster. I don't know. I'm definitely with you. The People Mover is a much missed component.
And it sucks that it's just still there. It's just dead track that they're not using. I think they're gonna rip it out any day now.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not any day now. Are they? We'll see what kind of construction goes on.
They like, this is kind of off topic, but I just saw that they bought a ton of new land in Florida, right next to Magic Kingdom. So,
that's interesting. What I had heard with them buying all that land in Florida is that the land they couldn't build on before that was near Magic Kingdom, it was conservation land. And what they're doing is they bought more land, and they're going to make that land conservation land so they can build where they wanted to build before. Is what I heard. I don't know. Which is weird. You have to buy land so that you can not use other land. I don't know. Anyway, but
like
so
People Mover, that's a great one.
People Mover, that is a good one. Now, I thought the most painful kind of dead attraction situation as of late was them getting rid of the Great Movie Ride in Hollywood Studios. I felt like that was the heart and soul of that park. And some people still call it MGM, Disney MGM Studios, whatever. But whatever you want to call it, Hollywood Studios. The heart of that park was movies and like the history of movies and where they come from. And and by ripping that out, that ride was like the mission statement of that park.
That was like the centerpiece. It was like the castle that like the theater in the middle.
And I was kind of like blown away they got rid of that. But we talked about that on the last episode when we did the Galaxy's Edge, or the what was it? The Rise of the Resistance.
Rise of the Resistance.
I do think that they knocked that ride out to not only make, okay, well, we can add some. This ride's kind of out of date, so we can replace it with a Mickey ride and update it and all that. That's part of it, but I do think they mined it for it had 1 billion human animatronics that they could use and disperse among the new Star Wars rides. I think that's why they did it. But it just, that one really hurts because it really was like that was the heart of that park. That park has very few attractions already. And it needed a really great dark ride, and that was it. It had a big capacity. It had really, it was really, I don't know, it was really nostalgic, and like, it was just a cute ride. And not having that is really like a blow, I feel like. I mean, I heard the new Mickey ride was cool, but I think that was kind of lame. I don't think they should have done that.
No. That really bummed me out.
Yeah. Did you ever get to go on that?
Never.
You never got to go on the movie ride?
They took it out before I could.
Yeah, well, that was what was really lame is when they announced they were closing it. I remember it was like D23 2017, I think. And it was like, all right, cool, in a month it's gone. So you couldn't even book a vacation or anything to see it,
and
you know?
Like the Twist the Dagger, they sold like merch that like and like they like celebrated it by getting like merch like ending this day. I rode it before it like all the going extinct, all that stuff for like Universe of Energy and stuff.
Yeah, Universe of Energy. They put carts at the exit with selling shirts saying goodbye and going extinct in this August, and it's like, really? Too soon, guys.
Yeah.
It is funny. I'm looking at the chat and someone brought this up, and it's a good point. There were lots of things from other movie studios in the Great Movie Ride.
Yeah. Alien and stuff.
Like, yeah, and that's what he's saying. It's like, oh, the Alien. It was crazy seeing aliens in a Disney ride. You know, yeah, there was stuff from Alien. There was stuff from all kinds of different studios movies. And it's funny because I heard a lot of people saying, well, you know, it might be too much to license some of that stuff. It's like, Disney ended up owning most of that stuff. Like, I think Wizard of Oz, that's still like under the Warner Brothers thing.
Okay.
But a lot of the other ones, they ended up owning.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It makes me sad. That really makes me sad, just in the sense of like, that was the one, I felt like one of the only maybe special things that Hollywood studios had. The only original thing there now is that Indiana Jones stunt show.
I know, and that's cool. Once.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, if you're a kid and you don't know a lot about like the way movies are made and stuff like that,
you can see that.
It's kind of I think that's kind of a valuable experience. I know a lot of people who saw it in like the late 80s, early 90s that like grew up wanting to make films. Yeah. And I think that's kind of neat, you know, because maybe they don't have a lot of that in Florida. You know, we're saturated by that
we have
stuff
it everywhere.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I've seen Waterworld. I don't need to see any other live show.
Yeah. But I agree. I totally agree with you. The Waterworld is the best live theme park show, bar none. I really believe that.
Nothing gets better than that.
But yeah, I agree with someone was saying in the chat earlier. That park, Hollywood Studios, is such a weird mishmash of stuff now.
Yeah. It's,
you know, it's like, what is the theme of it? And it's really like, well, go into your favorite movies. Okay. But I kind of feel like that's every theme park now. Like Epcot, we're adding Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, if every park is the going into your favorite movie, then
yeah, what's the purpose of the Hollywood Studios? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of losing the plot here, but anyway. Yeah, so that I really mourn the loss of it. But my number one, as I said before, the attraction that I think of when I hear Dead Attraction is still Horizons. That would be, in terms of my number one like ride that I went on in the past, but I wish it was back now. My number one is Adventures Through Inner Space. I wish I could go on that again. But in terms of it, something I never got to go on that I wish was around, it's Horizons. What would it be for you? Like, what's something that's gone that, if nothing, you wish you could go on right now?
Probably Horizons, or it's all those old Epcot rides. Every single one of them. It's everything that's not around anymore. Yeah, oh God, I can't remember. It's Universe of Energy. It's Horizons. It's the
Journey into Imagination.
Journey into Imagination is it's dead. It's still there.
Pretty much dead.
It's pretty much
the
dead.
One that everyone knows.
They gutted so much of that ride and just left. Here's a little bit of track. You can go do science stuff. I don't like it. It's dead. But yeah, it's all my favorite dead attractions are from Epcot.
Yeah,
like
most of mine are, honestly, because frankly, Disneyland straight up has done a better job keeping its classic rides than any other park.
We are lucky that they've held on to a lot of their classics here at Disneyland. Because Disney World, they're
ruthless.
They got a lot of stuff for other things. It's like you got rid of Snow White for a roller coaster. I don't get it. Like,
they were a lot less careful about that in Florida, definitely. But like, we still have our Mr. Toad. We still have
Snow White, all that stuff, which is actually getting a renovation right now.
What Snow White?
Yeah.
I'm curious about that. I don't know how to feel with the Snow White ride getting renovated, because it is so dark and purpose and like
I hope
uncomfortably
it's still
scary. Like for a Disney princess ride, it's totally uncomfortable, and then ends so abruptly.
Yeah.
Which, oh no, which is going to kill you. They live happily ever after. Goodbye. That I kind of enjoy it being rough around the edges, but I also remember going for years and going, when are they going to fix that? Like, there's no ending to this. And they are adding that, so maybe that's good. You know, again, I'm looking at the, you know, it's meant to be, those Disney, Fantasyland dark rides are really for, like, you know, really play more to kids. So I'm kind of not injecting too much of my, you know, I think I have a little more room to complain at a place like Galaxy's Edge where they do serve an older audience there.
Yeah.
But, you know, Fantasyland dark rides, if they should do whatever's going to make the most amount of kids happy is how I feel. But I also don't want them to gut a classic ride. So I'm curious what's going to happen with the Snow White thing. I guess I'm waiting to see what happens with that.
I just think some rides need to be scary whether for kids or not. Just that's what Disney did great, is that they added scary moments to a lot of their rides, just because that's part of life. And like, it's just cool to have something that's not just all happy and go lucky and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what makes some of the rides so good, is that you experience all the, you know, you got to have the highs and lows and then come out of it okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes some of the rides so good. I mean, every good attraction really does have that.
Yep.
Where you come out okay of something terrible.
Yeah.
But you know, case in point, the Tiki Room, even, like, they play all kinds of stuff.
It has a scary moment in it.
And then suddenly the gods get angry that you're celebrating, but then you come out of it singing, you know?
Yep.
And, you know, that's kind of how I see. Oh, well, no, Rise of the Resistance, the newest, most up-to-date attraction, even, is like you survive it, and then everyone celebrates you coming back, and you know, stuff like that. I think that's cool. That's what good attractions do. But anyway, so Snow White, I hope they keep a scary element of it, but we'll see what happens.
So that's not dead yet. We'll see when it opens.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you think about so going back to when they closed Great Movie Ride.
Yeah.
At the same time they closed Universe of Energy. That was a ride that I think everyone knew it was closed.
It was like I've watched the videos of like all the versions of it up until the end, and it was like it was a shell of its former self by the time it closed. Like,
that was a real sketchy. That's what I'm talking about. Ellen's Energy.
Yes.
Ellen's Energy Adventure is what Universe of Energy became, and we all knew it was coming. But I honestly, that attraction was so unusual. Like you were in a moving theater that went through not only the like gigantic IMAX screens bigger than you've ever seen, but then would open up and take you through dinosaurs. It was the most unusual ride system, and that's what I really look for. I don't really even look, if a ride is a thrill, fine. But I really like finding attractions that aren't like anything else. That's what is the thrill to me.
Oh, yeah.
Is like, where else would you get this experience?
You can go anywhere and ride a roller coaster. You can't get like cool dark rides that are Disney level anywhere else.
Exactly. And Universe of Energy was just so, why the hell does this exist? Like, I don't even know where that idea even generated from. And I really kind of, even though it definitely needed to be closed and updated, I was hoping they were going to update it as opposed to, rip it out, throw Marvel in there. And that's what,
put a roller coaster in there.
It's Marvel and a roller coaster, which are two, like, I mean, those are pretty basic concepts, you know, like I just wish there was something in there that was like not anywhere else. Although I've heard the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Have you seen the ride vehicle for that?
Yeah. It can turn around, like it can face you different ways.
It's like a roller coaster that faces you different ways to see story stuff.
See other stuff, story elements.
So maybe, maybe that would be cool. And I'm not against a Marvel themed dark ride, but I don't think Epcot was the place to do it. Like gutting an old attraction.
No.
And I don't know, Epcot has this like kind of like edutainment kind of worldly thing about it. I don't think we needed Marvel stuff there. Put that in, put that in Hollywood Studios or put it wherever, gut the Aerosmith coaster or whatever. right? Like,
Yeah.
do that instead. Why do we got a classic? Don't got a classic Epcot ride. I don't know. I just thought that was bad form, but
Yeah.
that's just me. But anyway, so give and take with that. Anyway, what other old attractions that are gone do you miss?
Anything that's in the 3D theater at Tomorrowland. I think it's all just been promotional stuff for years. It's just like the trailer for this. Check out the new Disney Plus show. Come check out an episode of it.
Yeah,
it's all this garbage. And I just miss having a 3D movie in there. I make a new one. I
agree with you.
Use that theater or bring back it. I think it's been long enough. I would love to see Honey, I Shrunk the Audience again.
Yeah, I think that's actually, it's so funny. For so long, people were like,
everybody like hated it back when it was going in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And and I think it's gone long enough that I think people would get a kick out of that coming back for a bit.
Yeah, it's so funny. For so many years, people were like, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. And Captain EO got old enough that people were like excited for that to come back. And then it did. And it's funny now, Captain EO, that ain't ever coming back.
No.
But now, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is just old enough. See, things have to become like just old enough, like 20 years old.
That's cool again. Plus, there's a lot of rumors of Rick Moranis coming back for another Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
I didn't even think
Honey,
about
I Shrunk the kids movie and all that stuff. And it's like, just promote. I don't know.
I totally, dude, you're right. They could totally tie it to the new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids thing.
And it's all still there. They have all the stuff that like all the effects are in the theater and everything. So like,
you're right.
I would love for that to come back.
I think it's time where they could do Honey, I Shrunk the Audience and people would really embrace it.
Yep.
Instead of being like, oh no, this sucks, you know?
Yeah.
I do consider myself very lucky though that I went on Captain EO. I do listen, I don't know what the deal is with Michael Jackson. Well, I know he's dead.
Yeah.
We can confirm that. But you know, all that stuff that came out since then, you know, it sucks. However, Captain EO, the attraction itself, not talking about the star of it, was awesome, and I am very happy I saw it 100 times.
Yes.
No, 100. Oh my God, I probably saw it 1,000 when it came back.
I saw it when I was a kid, loved it when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and I was stoked when it came back, and I saw it every single time I go to Disneyland. I would see it.
That was like a must for me, and I really loved it.
So, but now it's a theater for Disney Plus shows and
they haven't found another attraction to be in there.
I don't get it. Like just put that back in there.
It really bums me out that it's like that. You know, for a little bit they made it the Star Wars preview or not a preview, but like it was like a recap of all the old all the Star Wars movies 1 through 6.
Yeah, to get ready for the new trilogy that was coming out.
Yeah. I will say that was exciting for like one day.
Yeah.
Because it really was like, whoa, there's going to be a new Star Wars movie. There's going to be a 7th Star Wars movie. Oh my gosh. And so in that fever, that montage was cool. I'm speaking for myself. It contextualized everything leading up to that. That was cool. And then the movie opened and it was still in there for 4 more years.
A long time. And it's funny. I never saw it because
you never went in there.
Never went in there. Funny enough, because I didn't want to spoil the prequels.
Wow.
We were about to see it one time.
You hadn't watched them.
And I hadn't seen the prequels yet. And I think we were talking about watching them. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go in cold. I'm gonna go in not knowing much about this.
No kidding.
So I never ended up seeing that.
Wow, man. I can't believe that. Well, it was well done. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it just went on so long that it wasn't really like worth doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It was the whole thing was stupid. But it needs something new in there, or just bulldoze that theater one way or another. Anyway, so I miss all that stuff. Now, in terms of theater shows, you're talking about Captain EO, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, whatever. Do you miss any of Bugs Land?
The only thing I miss is that show.
And that's because that's why I bring it up is I think we're on the same page. The 3D Bugs Land show was legit.
It was great.
That was
because
fun.
It had awesome animatronics.
Yep.
It was it was good. It had scary moments in it, which was awesome because that's what they all should have.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is the one thing. Everything else in Bugs Land, it sucked. It was all just little like fair rides and stuff like that. But
yeah, Bugs Land was real like cheap, and it showed it. It
very
just didn't
cheap
look good.
and quickly built.
But
that show was great.
Yeah, that show. I loved that.
Yeah,
Tough to Be a Bug.
Still at Animal Kingdom in Disney World.
Yeah,
it's the exact same show. It's great.
We went, didn't we, on in October? Didn't we go there?
Mm-hmm.
I had to see that, and because I totally forgot it was there. I never realized it was under the like life tree.
It's within the tree, the trunk of the base of it.
And it's supposed to be like, the bugs like burrowed underneath that tree and set up a show there. It's so funny because that show or that tree is so like majestic, and it's got every form of life on it. And they make a big deal out of it. And then, what show is inside the tree? Bugs Life. Like, it just seems so random to me, but I love that show, and I miss that show a lot. I don't know. It was cute. It was fun.
Yeah. Really liked it. Another show I really enjoyed as a kid that they never really do. Well, they do in of course Epcot still, but I loved the Circle Vision 3D. It's the Circle Vision show in Disneyland.
We used to have Circle Vision movies.
We used to have it's Buzz Lightyear, but we used to have Circle Vision over there, and I loved that as a kid.
I did too. I thought that was really cool, and I felt like I was moving. It's really weird because as a kid, I thought, I really thought, I'm moving. Like I'm in. It created an effect in my brain. I've said this before. I have a really gullible brain. Like when I put on VR, I think things are really in my face. Like, oh no, and it's like I have to check in with myself and go, "Yo, that's not real." But my brain goes into fight or flight during that. But what I remember looking at those, watching those Circle Vision movies, and again, if you haven't seen them, it's when they have screens all around you.
Yeah, they're all around you, and there's no seats. It's just leaning poles.
Yeah, they have like rails for you to lean on, but otherwise you stand there and you look all around, and it's a 360 film all around you. And they would shoot it with like a camera that was like 5 cameras on a rig.
Yeah,
but anyway, they had those Circle Vision shows there, and it would psychologically trick me, and I felt like the room was moving.
Yes, I remember that too.
Oh, I gotta lean. Yeah, it did kind of make me anxious.
If they pan in a certain way, it makes it feel like you're the one that's moving and not the film.
Yeah. But I got used to it, whatever. But it's so funny because I didn't go to Epcot for the first time until like 2016. And I was blown away. Like, they still have Circle Vision movies here. That was a shocker to me. Yeah. They have Reflections of China and Canada. Oh, Canada?
Yeah.
You know, they have a new film in there. I haven't seen it.
I think they have a new film in both right now.
Did China get theirs yet?
I don't know, but it's in the works. So
but Canada did.
If Martin Short's not in the new Canada one, I'm really fucking bummed.
I don't think he is. I think it's Catherine O'Hara.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Right? That's a pretty good trade-off.
I like Catherine O'Hara a lot, so
it might be her and Eugene Levy.
Yeah, that's good.
But they're Canadian.
They're
comedy
like,
royalty.
Yep,
I'll take it. China is still the old one. Canada is new. And
they should have put Bob and Doug McKenzie as the host of that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay.
Redo it. Disney, get on it. Redo it.
Redo it.
I know you just put it in, but take it out.
Okay, good day. This is Epcot Pavilion. I hope you went to Norway, Hoser. Shut up. They changed the ride there. Oh, I really like the Maelstrom. No, don't
That's
say
exactly
that,
the
Hoser.
joke they would be. They would just make jokes about other lands and not being there, and
right?
Yeah, he messed it up. Like,
I can't find the Brazil Pavilion, Hoser. They haven't built that yet, Hoser. Oh, I'm real sorry about that. Okay, we're gonna get to the. I could keep going. I don't know. This is stupid. But anyway, they should. It's about time they swap. I know they're working on the China one, and it's not in, and it's probably not going to be in real soon.
Yeah.
But they should replace that because every time, it's like on its way out for like the way it depicts. Like the narrator is like the whispering. He's like, it's like Confucius.
It's
talking.
showing
It's
his age for sure.
Yeah, maybe don't run that. Yeah. But They have a new thing. They got rid of the Circle of Life and Symbiosis or whatever that was in the Land Pavilion.
Yeah.
And now they've got Awesome Planet. And I've heard that was pretty good.
Okay.
It's like I've heard it's narrated by Ty Burrell, who I like. He's really funny.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
And it's like they've said. I heard a lot of people say it feels like it's an old Epcot film where it's just like cool stuff around the planet.
Speaking of old Epcot films, they should bring that one that Martin Short hosted about how babies were made.
Yeah, why did they have that? The Making of Me, wasn't it called The Making of Me?
Yeah, it was just like how babies were made and hosted by Martin Short.
Yeah.
And that's gone. That whole building's being gutted right now for a new thing. So
yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, they're gonna do the Play Pavilion, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Well anyway, I don't think they're gonna bring back The Making of Me. How did it get greenlit? An attraction where Martin Short describes how babies are made. Like what? How did anyone sign off on that?
I don't know. But when we went there, it was cool because we went in that theater. They were showing some food thing because it was doing the food festival.
Yeah, Seasons of the Vine.
And you look on the box at the entrance and it said Birth Theater still. Like it was just, it's not meant to be seen. It was just like a little label for the control box of the thing. And it just said Birth Theater.
Birth Theater.
And it's like,
what the hell?
They left that there.
Man, that was yeah, that was like creepy. It was like when we found that theater, Kevin, that had the panel that said that and all that.
Yeah.
It felt like we found an old Dharma Initiative theater.
Yeah.
It was like on the Lost Island and we found like we excavated that. It was so weird. There was no one in that theater and it was just like, dude, what is going on?
It was surreal. It was weird.
That's the selfish part of me that wishes they wouldn't update anything in Epcot so that all this old weird stuff could still exist there for us to excavate it, which doesn't do any favors to like families and kids that want to have fun there. But I'm selfish. I'm in my 30s and I want to dig through old theme park stuff. Mm-hmm. What about me?
Yeah.
You know?
You think about me.
Yeah. Why don't they think about me? I like to say that a lot about things. What about me? But anyway, yeah, so I mean, we could go on and on and on forever about Epcot stuff that isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
But really, Horizons was kind of the main thing that I missed the most. We were just talking about, and we talked about that. We did an Epcot episode, and we talked about Horizons.
Yeah.
But I really think. I just want to put this out there. I've mentioned before, one of my favorite podcasts ever is Retro WDW, where they talk about old stuff that yeah, things that are at least 25 years old or gone that were in Disney World in Florida and stuff like that. It's one of my favorite podcasts ever. They have been doing like remasters. Oh God, I don't know why I'm choking all of a sudden. They have been doing remasters of. Or doing, they remaster old videos and films that they find of the theme parks that they come across. And they've been scanning things in HD and doing all this other kind of stuff. Well, they did, one of the guys in the crew filmed from many different angles and types of cameras and lenses and whatever. They filmed a ride through of Horizons. And they remastered the video. It just went up the other day, and they actually used software that utilized AI to actually correct the image and make it better.
Yeah.
And there was even stuff that they shot with a wide angle lens or like almost like a fisheye that they were able to unfisheye, that they were able to like flatten it out and using AI rehabilitate the image. And
that's crazy.
It's the best ride through you'll ever see of Horizon. So I would recommend everyone watch that and go look up their account. I think it's on the Retro WDW YouTube account or something like that. But look up a Horizons ride through. They just used the AI to do. They've been cleaning up all kinds of videos. They just did Captain EO, to make that look like way more better resolution and things like that using AI. It's really impressive the things that they're doing. So a lot of these old attractions that you can't check out anymore in that form, you can. You can watch it on YouTube and stuff. I also think they put up versions for a VR headset that you could watch it through that way or 3D or something like that.
If it's on YouTube in 3D, you can watch it with the PS4. So I'm down for that.
Yeah. And I know they have it in that form. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, so yeah, we could go all day about Epcot. Going back to Disneyland, we mentioned before how they keep, they've actually done a pretty good job preserving stuff. Case in point, somebody just brought it up, the submarine voyage.
Still there, yeah.
I do miss the original version of the submarine.
I do too.
But they did, rather than gut it, they did preserve the ride. It's just Finding Nemo themed.
Yep.
Which is
so be it. I've heard that ride is so expensive to run.
Yeah.
The idea that like it's still around is crazy and awesome to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that it needs to be Nemo now to keep it, that's great. Because there's no other ride system like that.
Yeah.
It's
that's how I feel too. If that was the compromise needed to keep it, then I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do miss the regular version of it with like, they had the sea serpent in it and they had the mermaids and things like that.
That sea serpent's still there. It's just hidden in the ride. It's not the same sea serpent, but they put a sea serpent in some rock work at the end.
Is there?
Yep.
I never know.
It's not like the animatronic or anything but they rebuilt, they kind of like designed a rock work to actually be a sea serpent.
Really?
At the end, yeah.
How did I not know about that?
You have to be on a certain side of it, and it's not on both sides. It's only on the like the stock side or whatever. And yeah, he mentioned it at the end, like, oh, we should better go before we run into see something crazy like a sea serpent or mermaids.
Yeah. Oh, I know about that.
As an homage to that. But as you go by that, there on one of the sides is an actual sea serpent.
No
just
kidding.
in the rock work and stuff.
I did not realize that. Okay. Yeah. Damn. Now I want to look into that. Well, yeah. I regardless of it being Finding Nemo, I still enjoy that there is a submerged submarine ride. I mean, it's not like you're really going hundreds of feet down, but you're in water. It's cool. Yeah. I look for the rides that attractions that can't exist anywhere else. Mm-hmm. That's what I really do enjoy. And so it definitely fits that bill. So I like the submarine still. I wouldn't wait for it for an hour or anything like that. No. If there's no wait,
the wait time is pretty good, right? Like at the moment now.
But yeah, so that's there. You remember before that was the submarines, wasn't it? Like the Phantom boats were in there.
I think so. Yeah. No, I think the submarines and Phantom boats ran at the same time. I believe.
Did they?
I think so. I can't.
Well, I know there was
the Phantom boats were running in the 80s.
There was a separate boat ride though. Phantom boats, I think, were different.
Different, yeah.
There was a boat ride. Yeah,
the one that the dock uses is a different ride to the Phantom boats.
Yes. But there were Phantom boats. They were boats that would just go real fast.
Yeah,
and that was only there for a little bit, to my knowledge. The Phantom boats were open, for like 4 months after the opening. Yeah, Phantom boats were a real quick thing, but there was a boat ride.
Yeah,
that did go into the 80s. I remember that. My family, when we would go, they loved all the slow, cute stuff, and I think that rubbed off on me. They just wanted to go on. Oh, let's go on the boat. Let's go on the train. Let's go. I wasn't really going on thrill stuff. But anyway, what other stuff is missing from Disneyland that you miss?
I'm trying to think. I know we talked about this, but that barbecue place is like one of my top like bummed out.
The all-you-can-eat barbecue.
All-you-can-eat barbecue.
Yeah,
it was just a fun place. But other than that, I'm trying to think of certain things. I already mentioned Skyway. Loved that. I wish we still had an arcade in the Starcade. It's now just like it is boarded up, and now it's just a vent space. And the top one, you can finally go to the second story of it because they rebuilt it as a extended queue for Space Mountain. But I loved like going in that area and checking it out when I was a kid. It was just cool.
See, I have mixed feelings there because I do wish it still was an arcade.
Yeah.
For nostalgia purposes, like, whoa, an old 80s arcade, it's still here.
Yeah.
So I wish it was back. At the same time, I never liked going to an arcade at Disneyland.
Really?
Like, I just didn't want to do arcade games while I was at Disneyland. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have fond memories of it, but I feel like I have fun memories of going up there, and the idea that the upper levels were cut off for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Yes.
That's kind of
why I like them.
I miss it, but
that it's been abandoned like that. Like that appeals to me. I agree with you. But when I will say when I was younger, I didn't really want to play arcade games when I was there. I wanted to like go on Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, stuff like that. But I like the idea that it was there, I guess. And yeah, I mean, an 80s arcade in Tomorrowland. It felt very Epcot.
Yep.
You know, very kind of, I don't know, it had an 80s theme to it.
Definitely.
And if they made it 80s themed now and stuck to it, I think they would get a lot of visitors.
I think so too.
Something that's gone, speaking of 80s, and this was something that was 80s themed and had an arcade that I think worked, was, I was just talking about it today, Kevin, I was on Facebook.
Yeah.
And, you know, they do, oh, Facebook memories. Here's your Facebook memories. You know, they do that. It was me in front of a light cycle in California Adventure, a Tron light cycle with, I had a Michael Jackson glove on. So that was from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember that photo, one, because I missed the Tron stuff from California Adventure.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting to next. But I also remember, Kevin, that was right
I took that photo.
It was right
I took
after,
that photo.
What happened, Kevin?
It didn't really, the handoff back to the iPhone handoff back to Rocco didn't really work out. Didn't pan out.
You remember it as a handoff. I remember Kevin, I said, Kevin, will you take a picture with my phone? And he was just holding my phone and dropped it.
No.
Brand new iPhone 4.
That's the 10 years since that, like, no, I was handing it off and it didn't work.
Was it a handoff?
It was a handoff. I had taken the photo and I was walking back and handing it off to you, and the handoff didn't, I let go too soon. I let go too soon.
It was a brand new iPhone 4?
It was, yeah. Yeah.
And that thing smacked the ground. And you know what's funny? Not a scratch on it.
No, not. Hey, it didn't help me from feeling like shit the rest of the day. But
I remember you did, and I was like, dude, I don't have a case on it. I don't care. Like I've never had a phone break on me. Like, I'm blessed or something. I've never had that happen. I mean, truth be told, when iPhone 5 came out, we filmed a video, and a homeless person took my phone and spiked it into the ground, and it still didn't break. So I knew luck was on my side. I was not worried about it. So to me, it's like, well, hey, it didn't break. Who cares? But Kevin felt bad the rest of the
I dropped your phone. I'd be bummed if my phone was dropped.
Sean, I'm saying Sean's name because I'm preemptively thinking about this. It was Sean's wedding, and I asked him to see. Could I see he just gotten his wedding ring. It was during the ceremony. I mean, it was the ceremony had just ended. The reception was about to begin.
Hey, Sean, show me that ring real quick.
Show me the ring. He showed me his ring and handed it to me right after the ceremony, right after. And I dropped that fucking thing immediately, and it rolled down a hallway. I mean, it was like, fuck. And it was no big deal. He got it back, and he was like, don't worry about it. And the rest of the night, I was going, oh,
that's how I felt when I dropped your iPhone.
Anyway. Yeah, it pissed me off.
That Tron area
I understand the feeling.
That Tron area was cool, though.
Yeah. So California Adventure had this thing called Electronica.
Yeah.
Where they wanted to have a kind of night experience where at night they would bring out music and dancing and they would do all this stuff. There were people in like Tron outfits, like dancing up in cages and stuff like that. It was wicked.
Yeah.
And
they had an arcade in the back, like you were talking about, like an 80s arcade.
Yeah, in the back. Yeah, it was like they made it purposely
Flynn's arcade,
like it was out of the 80s, and I did think that worked. As much as I'm kind of like, whatever on arcades in a theme park, that was one that worked because it felt you'd walk in and they were playing "Someday Love Will Find You." They were playing Journey and the Eurythmics, and
it was great.
Things like that. Even the tokens were the theme to Flynn's arcade in Tron.
I still got some from when we went there.
Oh, I saved a stack of those.
Oh yeah.
That worked really well. And I saw people dumping tons into those machines because it felt like they even had machines that were exclusive to that arcade. They had space paranoids and stuff like that. And it was really, really well done. All that Tron stuff, I've been seeing a lot of people, during this time where everyone's kind of stuck at home. I've been seeing for some reason a lot of people, and I think it's another case like what we were just talking about of something becoming just old enough
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of people go, I wish they brought back the Tron stuff. Oh, I wish they brought, you know, things like that. And I think that Tron, the electronica is what they called it, experience. I think it's just old enough that people are going, oh,
yeah. I think they can bring that stuff back. I mean, I just watched that movie on the plane ride, like for PAX East, and it's still, I love that movie,
dude. Kevin, I told you on the plane, but I was eavesdropping so hard. Like, I wasn't trying to, but Kevin's playing Tron Legacy on his iPad, and I keep going like, that movie is, I had no audio.
Yeah.
But it told the whole story through its images. So I'm like, I missed that movie. I want to go back and watch that.
I love that movie.
I do too.
I love just anything Tron.
And really, the directing was the star of the show, because I said this on the plane. I was like, you know, when a movie is well directed, when every image of it could be paused and you could print it, and it would be a cool piece of art on your wall. And I swear to God, every single shot that was in that, Kevin, when you were watching it, anytime you could have paused it, I would have been, oh yeah, print that, print it on my wall, right there. Oh, that's how 2001: A Space Odyssey is. For me anyway, I'll say. But anyway,
like going back to like dead attractions, they had a Tron segment in World of Color, and it was awesome.
Oh, somebody posted that video the other night.
It was so good.
Of the Tron outro. That they used to have in World of Color. And
because they tacked it on at the end. They didn't interfere with any of that show. And it was at the end when everything would like start glitching out, after it was like the normal ending to it and everything like that. And then it would go, okay, cool. And then it would start glitching out, like what's going on? And there would be all this Tron stuff, and it was so good.
Yeah, and then suddenly you saw Jeff Bridgetal, as we call him, Digital Jeff, appear over the water, and then light cycles start going by. It was really cool. Like,
I'm stoked for that Tron ride coming. I'm bummed it's a roller coaster, but
I do wish it was a dark ride.
I will go on it, because it's just, I like light cycles and stuff like that. It seem cool to me.
Well, in classic tradition, Kevin, you go on it first, and you let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
I have a feeling it's going to be a no from me, but yeah, it is really cool from everything that I've seen. It does look really cool.
Yeah.
But there is a but anyway, I feel like there's been a lot of nostalgia for Tron stuff. It's like we're hitting the decade mark, and it's just old enough that people are starting to go like,
it's been 10 years since the new one came out.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, time flies.
This ended up being a Tron nostalgia cast. Who knew? But anyway, I've been really missing that, and I wish they would add electronica. You know, they changed the Tron night show electronica. They eventually changed it. Like it blew past when the movie was gone from theaters. It wasn't there anymore, and they got rid of it after a while and replaced it with Mad Tea Party, which was Alice in Wonderland themed. But even that was like years after Alice in Wonderland, or a year, or I don't know, after that live action movie came out. And it's like, well, if this is out of date, why didn't you just stick with Tron?
I know.
And I feel like everyone was on board for the Tron one, because I feel like Tron was a little bit, even if you weren't into the movie, it was still kind of agnostic enough of a thing where it's like, hey, even if you don't like the movie, show up. It's a bunch of like it was all cyber themed, virtual themed, digital themed, that it was fun no matter what. And Mad Tea Party, that was when you started getting people going, oh, it's based on the Tim Burton. Ew, I'm not going to go to that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of goth. There's this thing that's kind of aspect that's kind of goth. Nah. You know, it just, I feel like that's when I saw people bail on it. But when it was Tron, the aesthetic was cool no matter if you like the movie or not. And I feel like even more so now, the cyber theme is more fun than ever.
Yes.
They should bring it back. Don't you think?
I do too. I definitely.
When all of this quarantine stuff is over, I think they should bring back electronica. How exciting would that be?
How much does it hurt to have just like even limited runs? Like just do it for a summer, or like do it for a year or something like that. Like bring back some old stuff just temporarily if need be.
It would be so easy to bring electronica back.
Yep.
It's just a night party and you project stuff and play cyber. Remember, did you ever go see Laser Man?
Yeah, that Laser Man show was cool.
Everyone at home, go look up YouTube performances of Laser Man.
Yeah.
And he would shoot lasers and make art with lasers.
It was so cool.
Damn, they need to do that. Well, I missed that quite a bit.
I know. Me too.
Well, is there anything else?
There is one ride that I remember. I just found out about this year.
Yeah.
Well, last year. And it is not at a Disney park. But
Yeah,
it's a park,
by all means, if there's anything not at a Disney park.
It's a park I've never even heard of, but apparently there's a Warner Brothers park in Germany. And they had a Gremlins ride for the longest time.
I didn't know about this.
Animatronics, everything. And it was a dark ride, slow dark ride, full of animatronics, gremlins.
Are you kidding me?
Everything like that. Yeah. And it went, I forgot, it was like sometime in the 90s, they gutted it, and now it's a fucking Scooby-Doo ride. It's like some stupid, like the new Scooby-Doo, like the, in like the early 2000s.
Now, I saw a Scooby-Doo ride through that was pathetic.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of like screens.
No, this isn't that. This is a coaster.
Okay.
This is like a roller coaster and stuff like that. I've seen that. That one. This one I don't think had any screens, but it was the old show building for this Gremlins dark ride. In Germany.
No. Are there videos of this?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can go.
Oh,
I forgot what it was
God.
called. But it was a Gremlins dark ride, and for some reason I think there were two. They were all in Europe. I think one was in Germany and one was somewhere else. And one they had characters from other things in it. Weirdly, one had Beetlejuice, and the other had Alf.
Oh, how do I not know about any of this?
I don't. It was for some reason one got like Beetlejuice in it and one got Alf in it, and I wish I could have gone on that ride at some point.
Oh no,
but it bums me out that doesn't exist anymore. Apparently, I've dove into like all the like what's there and everything. Apparently, like the showrooms for the opening of that ride, because you kind of go to a theater area, are still there. They just don't use them. And the whole front of the building is still the Gremlins thing. They just built another facade in front of it and made it a castle for Scooby-Doo.
What?
So I go look up ride throughs of this. There's two, one with Alf and one with Beetlejuice, and check it out. It's awesome.
I can't believe that. I never knew that about Gremlins. That is so nuts.
Yep. So
okay, well I have to look into that because I saw a really pathetic Scooby-Doo ride.
Yeah, I think I've seen that too. Yeah, it's not that. It's not good, but it's definitely not that, like just all screens and stuff like that.
I saw a really bad Ghostbusters ride too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like you shoot stuff, and Kevin, I know you hear this a lot, whatever. Or like people always yell out, "Oh, this ride's like an iPhone game." That's why it's like a fucking iPhone game. It is all screens.
Oh.
Yeah, shoot the things. There's almost nothing in the ride.
Yeah.
And people were saying it's like, dude, you had a chance to make a Ghostbusters ride, and this is what you did.
That's so stupid. But
yeah, it was pretty bad.
I actually have to skedaddle here in a second.
Yeah. Oh no, we're wrapping it up. We're good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're gonna end it here. I would say for me, one that's not in a Disney park though, I just want to say was probably Knott's Berry Tales.
Oh yeah,
Knott's had a bear ride.
Yeah, I've never been on that bear ride. I wish I had. I have been on the dinosaur ride that they put in after that.
See, I think I went on that, but I can't remember.
And I didn't. It was the same thing with you and Adventures to Inner Space. I just remembered this weird ride.
Yeah.
Didn't know where it was. Didn't know what it was, anything. And it wasn't until much later.
Yeah.
After that it closed, I got that was the fucking ride. I went to Knott's when I was really, really young and rode that. I remember the mad scientist and everything like in the chair. And it all came back to me as soon as I saw like this old footage of this ride that like it was only like 10 years, like not even 10 years ago that I realized this.
Yeah, that was, hey, you know what? Honestly, that was me and Journey to the Moon, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I had no memory of that ride. And then it was later that I saw videos of like, oh yeah, you'd sit around in the circular room and they'd make it seem like you were launching into space. And it felt like you were because they would inflate the seat. And I was like, oh, I did that a bunch.
Yeah.
But that ride was I get it. That was an outdated ride and they got rid of it. I get that.
Yeah.
But I do remember that experience. Well, anyway, we're going to wrap up this Creepy Old Crypt here.
Yeah, this was fun.
It was fun revisiting these dead attractions.
Yeah.
Again, we can't go outside. So let's talk about the stuff we couldn't go outside to see. And hopefully next time we'll be able to go somewhere. But in case at least we know we have the technology to do it right. And I think this is pretty much flawless. I mean, I challenge anyone to know whether or not Kevin was in the room or not. I mean, if I hadn't said anything, you wouldn't have even known. So we know we have the tech.
Yeah. We've reached that. It's 2020. So
and I want to say thanks. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to James Cameron for kind of developing that tech because we wouldn't have known otherwise.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. And this was a lot of fun. This has been another Creepy Old Crypt. Anything you want us to talk about next time, let us know. Comment on the video on YouTube or tweet at us or whatever. And let us know so that we can, maybe there's something else we can discuss that we haven't covered yet. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you.
Take care.